What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about who the Winnipeg Jets could potentially be seeing there in the first round of the playoffs, who their potential opponent could be. The Jets obviously in pretty good control of the West right now, up 8 points on Dallas as I make this video. There is still time for Dallas to close, but I think, through it all, I think the Jets are going to come out of this one with the West title. So that would mean that they would play the second wildcard team. Right now, the St. Louis Blues are red hot on fire, 81 points. Calgary does have 3 games in hand behind them with 77. Vancouver has 70 games played with 76, and Utah back there with 75 in 70 games. Now obviously there's a few of these teams that I think are way more likely to be a problem in the playoffs than others, and I think there's a lot of these teams that I just mentioned that don't really have a realistic shot of getting in. But we're going to talk about all of these teams in this video today and talk about and break down which team that I think would be the best matchup for the Jets to play in the first round and who would be the toughest. I'm going to start off really quickly here with the Utah Hockey Club. This is a team that I do like. I like a lot of these players. However, I just don't think they have a realistic chance of making the playoffs this season. I think a lot of these players need to grow. Logan Cooley obviously is going to be a monster in this league. He's already a great player. Clayton Keller, Nick Schmaltz, great players. Dylan Gunther, sniper. I really do like Barrett Hayton. I think he's a guy that gets overlooked in this league quite a bit. On the back end, obviously, Mikhail Sergachev, a monster. This decor is really solid. Everything about this team is solid with Karel Vejmelka in net. However, just with where they are in the standings right now, about 6 points back of the Blues this late in the season, that is really tough to climb. I don't think they're going to be making the playoffs. Next up here, we do have the Vancouver Canucks. They've had a very crazy season, obviously, with the JT Miller fiasco, stuff with Brock Besser and his extension, Elias Pettersson, not playing great hockey this year. It has been really crazy, and somehow they're still in the talk to be a playoff team, just 5 points out from St. Louis. At one time, they commanded this wild card spot. It didn't look like there was a chance that anyone could take it away, but now they've lost some tough games. Lost a tough one to the Rangers where they outshot them 39-12, still lost. Obviously Philip Hedl going down after the trade with a concussion again, not great. Elias Pettersson still not playing their greatest hockey ever. Just feels like Quinn Hughes is really trying to will this team to victory. This team has played some good hockey, but now with the Blues going on the win streak that they've been on, with how hot they are, and with Vancouver, really just seemingly, having to unload the tank every single night, do they have what it takes to come back from, 5 points out at this point in the season? I don't know. They do have games in hand on St. Louis. I really do like Quinn Hughes. I think Quinn Hughes is a problem, obviously having an MVP caliber season. This lineup isn't terrible when fully healthy. However, I just don't know if this late in the year, if they have what it takes to come back. I would love to play Vancouver in the first round. I think this would be a team that is, obviously unloading the tank every single night. I think the Jets would, more than happily play this team, as Vancouver's kind of having their playoffs right now. So I would think that they'd be pretty tired come playoff time and maybe easier to beat than some of the other teams that I'm going to be talking about in just a second here. Next up, we have the Calgary Flames, who I didn't have much hope for coming into this season, but they have shocked everybody. Dustin Wolf has played better than I think anybody ever really expected him to this season. Flames have 77 points, are currently 4 points out of a playoff spot, but have 3 games in hand on the St. Louis Blues, so they can definitely catch up, but you have to win those games in hand, obviously. The Flames, not a very high volume scoring team, but a decent defending team with a very good goaltender that has stolen some wins away from other teams this season, and that's why they are where they are. Now, I don't think this Calgary team is unbeatable whatsoever. To be honest, this would probably be my preferred choice for the Jets to play in the first round. I think this has the most potential to be a 4-game series. I think the Jets could sweep Calgary if Dustin Wolf doesn't have, a crazy game or anything like that. But yeah, that first line, if, Kadri, Pospisil, and Zary, while they are good players, that's not super impressive compared to what some other teams have. They don't have that star power really on this team. Really solid lineup throughout, but even on the back end, like Rasmus Anderson and Mackenzie Weegar are your headliners on the back end, two very good defensemen, but after that it falls off big time. I mean, Kevin Ball, Jake Bean, Miromanov, pretty good defenseman, but really nothing too crazy here. Nothing that I would think the Jets would be too afraid of. And then in goal, obviously, their biggest asset, Dustin Wolf, and Dan Vladar, decent backup there. But Wolf, incredible season he's having. I don't think it's going to be too tough for the Jets to beat a team like Calgary. I'm rooting for them because the final team that we're going to be talking about is the team that I am the most scared of, the Jets playing in the first round. Now, finally, the team that I am the most horrified of the Jets seeing in the first round would be the St. Louis Blues. Now, to put horrified on a scale, I'm not like, oh my god, the Jets have no chance, they're going to get buzzsawed in the first round. But this is a team that has been red hot. They had a coaching change that saw Jim Montgomery take over things, obviously started the year as the coach of the Boston Bruins. He has had success in his career, and now he is the head coach of the Blues, and he's done very well with them. Since February 22nd, the team is first in wins, first in points percentage, second in goals per game, third in goals against per game, 8th in the league on the power play, 13th percent in the penalty kill, and first in expected goals percentage at 5-on-5. 5-on-5 extremely important in the playoffs. This Blues team has been awesome, and there's really no sign of them slowing down anytime soon. And they're doing this with a bunch of guys out. Torrey Krug, Colton Parayko, Pavel Buchnevich, and Oscar Sundqvist all currently out for the Blues, and they're still rolling along, still winning some games. That is very scary. Parayko will likely return for the playoffs, Buchnevich as well. And yeah, this could be a problem going forward here if they keep rolling the way that they are. Keep in mind, the Blues do have some injuries to their lineup, but even without injuries, it's not a terrible lineup. Robert Thomas, a lot of guys are going to find out about him in the near future. This guy's been having a great year. Jordan Kyrou as well. Braden Shen, the second-line center of the Blues. This is a very solid team. Not to mention Dylan Holloway, offer sheeted away from the Oilers. What a year he's had. I mean, come on the season this year, who saw this coming? 23 goals, 35 assists. I sure didn't. He's playing incredible. If we go over to the defense, another guy that got offer sheeted, Philip Broberg, he's playing top 4 minutes for the Blues and he looks fantastic. Cam Fowler, also on this team, Justin Falk, Ryan Suter. This is a very solid team all the way around, and of course you have gold medalist in the Four Nations tournament, Jordan Bennington in goal, who has been known to steal a game or two in his career. He's won a Stanley Cup with St. Louis. They came all the way from last place in the 18-19 season to win the Stanley Cup, an absolute fairy tale year. Do they have another fairy tale in them this year? I'm not so sure about that, but I do think they will be, out of the teams that I've mentioned today, the biggest problem for the Jets, the biggest handful in the first round. Overall, I think I would much rather play any of Utah, Vancouver, or Calgary than the St. Louis Blues right now. They're red hot. That is the team that I'm most afraid of the Jets playing in the first round, but I do think the Jets would prevail over St. Louis. Obviously St. Louis, great team. They're going to have Parayko back for the playoffs. They're going to get healthier here, but I do think the Jets would be able to handle them. I just don't think that there's much of a chance of the Jets getting out of it in a 4-game sweep as I do, against Calgary or Vancouver or Utah. I think it's very important that the Jets, end that first round as quick as possible, as healthy as possible, to get to probably, will be one of Dallas and Colorado in the second round. They're going to need to be healthy, they're going to need to be rested, and hope that that Colorado and Dallas series goes long and that they beat each other up, and whoever they play is tired and maybe a little bit, injury riddled. So I think that gives the Jets the best chance to go far in the playoffs, but that's just my mindset. What do you guys think? I'd love to hear from you guys. Leave a comment down below. Who do you want the Jets to play in the first round? Definitely let me know. But leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Go Jets, go. Bye-bye.